everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our level 53 Botanist quest. Minion Roulette is giving us a Gigantopole for today. Hello there, Gigantopole. Alright, Muji Mirala, what do you got for us today? Muji Mirala has received word of a task from Basil. Perfect timing, Satora. Word arrived from Basil not a moment ago. He has a task and bids you come to Camp Cloudtop. Let us go at once. Alright, on to Camp Cloudtop then. Let's see what work is needed of us here. Alright, onwards to Camp Cloudtop. Alright, so you are going to be down at the south end of the camp. I believe that is where the gardens are, so that makes sense. Alright, hello there, Basil. Good to see you. Sorry about running right through the pumpkins. Seeds of Hope Sprouts and Sea of Clouds. What do you think? Pretty inspired, even if I do say so myself. Yeah, best of luck with your article. Why, thanks for coming on such short notice. To begin with, I'd like to ask your advice on crops that would thrive in this environment. Right now, our principal crop is a strain of pumpkin native to these isles. With some experimentation, we succeeded in cultivating it. Unfortunately, hardly anything else grows as a viable food source. It has something to do with the ratio of wind to earth aspected ether up here. There's a much higher concentration of the former, you see, and hardly any of the latter. Gizzle greens are just about the only other thing that has worked out, and these aren't the same as what we have in Kurthus either. It may interest you to know that the seeds came to us from Gridania from the Botanist Guild. Roy DeLoyne urged me to give them a try, and lo and behold, they cropped up like weeds. Strange things do happen, eh? But in the end, gizzle greens are only fit only for chocobos, and what little I'm managing to grow at the moment doesn't make up for the shortfall of supplies. If we're to keep feeding the garrison, we need to find more crops that grow and set about growing them as soon as possible, or we'll all be supping on bird fodder. And so I'd like to ask your opinion. In selecting a crop, what quality is most critical? I feel like, given the weather of Camp Cloudtop and the Sea of Clouds, probably hardiness to elevation is going to be the most important thing here. I see, in that case, we might try a plant that's native to the highland regions. Ah, that reminds me, a hunter I spoke with recently mentioned having seen wild onions in the Dravanian forelands. Cyclops onions they're called, and I fancy our chances of cultivating them. If we succeed, they would make a welcome addition to our rations. I'd be grateful if you could gather and bring me 10 bulbs. Alright then, we need to go get some Cyclops onions from the forelands. Off we go then. They're not too hard to find. If I remember correctly, they should be just out east of Tailfeather. A little bit north. I think they were a hidden item. So it may take a few nodes before they actually pop up. Alright, let's see. Cyclops onions got them first try. Nice. Let's grab 10 and then we can report back to finish up. And might as well grab some extras while we're here. Alright then, Basil, I bring to you plenty of onions. Hopefully this will be enough for you to start planting your own in the area. And hopefully they all work out with the growing. Have you gathered the Cyclops onions? They can be found growing wild in the Dravanian forelands. Yep, I got plenty of them for you. My, they're far larger than I had dared hope. Why thanks, Satora. I shall try growing them in our test plot right away. A test plot, you say? That's right, miss. Before we grow something in earnest, we need to make sure certain that it won't be a detriment to the other crops. Though sustenance is important, so too is sustainability. If we don't think ahead, we're liable to damage the environment, and that would leave us with nothing. I see, pioneers must at once be bold and cautious, a delicate balancing act. With that, I believe I have sufficient material for my first article. I'll go on back to Ishgard to send my notes to the chief editor. See you at the Aetheryte Plaza, Satora. Well, glad she's getting something out of it at least. Best of luck, Basil. My thanks for your advice as well as the onions. When I have another task for you, I'll send word to your retainer as before. Somehow, she's still keeping up the charade, despite just straight up saying she was writing an article. Alright. Hello there, Muji Mirala. How goes the article writing? Glad tidings, Satora. The chief editor was utterly taken by my draft, and the first installment of my series will soon grace the Raven. Oh, and lest you worry, I'll make sure to withhold names and locations. It's an Ishgardian outpost after all, and we can't well have such details known to all and sundry. Ah, but have a listen to this. So it was that the dilemma of a suitable crop was solved thanks to the ingenuity of one humble botanist. It shall not be long ere this azure frontier is blanketed in life-giving Cyclops onions. That's how I'm planning to close the article. I see you're not entirely convinced that the dilemma is solved. Well, it practically is, only I can't write practically. The statement would lose something for it. As before, I'll remain in Ishgard to await word from Basil. I look forward to the next task. Alright, I'm gonna grab some money, and the new ability we are getting will allow us to get special rewards if our base stats are high enough at the various nodes around the Heavensward zones. Alright then, let's get started on our gathering log for today. What do we need to grab? Alright, our gathering for today actually takes us out to the Churning Mist, where we're going to be getting most of our new items. We're going to start making our way out towards wherever we can find it all. Let's see. Churning Mist Unknown, where we can find Porcini and Dravanian Mistletoe. It does look like... Ooh. Alright, we got a race. That is a time node that pops in 6 minutes, and it is way up in the north. And I don't know if we'll be able to actually get to that. Well, we better get moving. We're going to be exploring a lot of the Churning Mist today then. Hooray! Ooh, this is going to take us on quite the long trek. Oh dear. I am actually more than a little worried about this. I'm surprised that node is so far out there. There are 2 specific gathering nodes that we want to visit today in the Churning Mist as botanists. We'll pass by the first one on our way to the second one. Do we want to worry about because the first one isn't a time node. So I'm debating whether or not we should actually go for it on our trek. Here, let me pull up my full map. Yeah, we should be good to keep going this way. We'll worry about the ether currents when we come here in the main story. And we should be able to hike this way. Yeah, we got 5 minutes left before that time node pops. I don't know if it's worth it to stop for the first node on our way to the second, on our way to the time node. So we'll come back for the non-time node after we are done with our race, effectively. Okay, I want to get up to the upper levels here. Down. Oh, crap. The map was misleading. Actually, wait. Yeah, the map was definitely misleading. Okay, that's a problem. We'll have to take another route down through this path. Hooray! Hooray for the Churning Mists! An absolute maze of floating islands. That actually isn't that bad to navigate. Once you have it all mapped out and realize that that is not an actual path. It just looks like that on the full map. But we're down to 3 minutes until that time node pops, and I don't want to miss it, because if I miss it, I'm going to have to wait 30 minutes for it to pop again. And we are still so far from it, especially since we had to backtrack. Okay, none of these enemies are going to bother me, correct? Yeah, no, we should be fine. Just make our way west through this path. Lots of old dead plant life around here too. Lots of dead trees. Rather concerning. This is not how I wanted this to go. Not in the slightest. But alas, there are so many job quests that we just could not make it through the main story enough to explore the Turning Mist in the quote proper way. It's fine, we'll get to revisit it all during the main story. Alright, there's the non-time node that we can come back to later. Do we want to go... I think we want to go this way. No, I appear to be mistaken. Sorry, there's a lot to this map. And unfortunately, the place we want to go is like all the way up here. And there's no direct path to it. Crap, but if we go this way, the path ahead is way above us. So we do gotta go through here, but I'm looking at my map and it doesn't hook up. Oh, you know what? We're gonna have to just entirely skip that time node. Fair enough. I am now realizing that there is actually a main story block before we can get there. Dang it. Okay, well, at the very least, we made it to the other vegetation patch we can actually check out. This one has for us magma beets. And then there's also a hidden item here that we'll have to try a few nodes before it'll actually pop up. Well, at the very least, we didn't go too far past where we can actually explore right now. But I am realizing that, unfortunately, there is a main story block that will prevent us from getting to the time node at all. There's the emerald beans. Generous game. Still, damn shame. Real damn shame we can't get to the other node. Because I actually do need the items from that node for upcoming crafting. I'll just have to grab them off of the market board in that case. Sucks, but that's the way it is. Alright, well, that's all the regular gathering we can do for right now, I believe. So, next up is going to be our collectibles. And there should be one collectible we can grab today. And that's going to be back in the Dravanian Foreland, so I'll see you there. I just barely, by like a minute, missed the, maybe 2 minutes, missed the collectible node. So I spent the last like half an hour just preparing for the upcoming crafting episodes. Got a lot of progress done, which just makes me very happy. Anyways, down here in the Dravanian Forelands, we can get our next and only collectible for today. I believe we did rarefied dark chestnut sap last time, so we're just going to be getting the rarefied dark chestnut logs today. And I'm going to go with my usual of scrutiny into meticulous. It's just a really good combo when you're a really good overall combo for getting collectability up. Okay, so one use of scour will not get me to full. So it is tempting to use meticulous. However, if I use scrutiny, and I know I will have extra GP because I don't have enough GP to use ageless words. Okay, scrutiny into meticulous is going to be our best option here. And then we can get 6 collectibles. Very nice. That's a nice pile that we can bring back to Mordona in order to get probably more high cordials. And it looks like we got some materia ready to go as well. Alright, let's go turn in these collectibles back in Mordona, grab some high cordials, and that'll be good for today. Alright then, hello there, Collectible Appraiser. I have a gift for you. And I believe we're going to be getting 20 script per? Yes, 20 script per log. And 20 script is the cost of 1 high cordial, so we're going to get 6 more high cordials. Nice. Alright then, we're starting to get stocked up on those, so we should be able to start using them more comfortably while we are gathering stuff for upcoming crafting videos. Alright then, that is going to be it for today. Next time on Final Fantasy XIV, I want to say we're going to be doing more side quests in the Kurthus Western Highlands, but I will figure out the details later. And then next week, more main story, more crafting and gathering quests. I will see everyone next time for that.